My name is Emily.
And I'm Jenna.
We tested Euglena growth in various light exposures. In our abstract, we said that we did this experiment to study the reproduction of Euglena through various light sources. In our introduction, we talked about how Euglena are heterotrophic and autotrophic. Autotrophic meaning they can make their own food from photosynthesis. Heterotrophic meaning they can get their food from their outside surroundings. Based on the information we found during our research, we decided to do this experiment to see which type of light source would be best for the Euglena's growth.
So we hypothesized that if you tested the growth of Euglena in varying light exposures, that the Euglena exposed to light for 24 hours would do the best because it would have the most time exposed to the light, so it would have the most light that it could then convert into food, which would make them stronger and grow faster.
And then we have our methods. We grabbed 4 dishes pre-filled with 200 milliliters of Bristol solution. We then labeled each dish, one with no light, one with 12 hours on and off, one with 24 hour, and one with no light. And then we used a sterile pipette to pipette 10 milliliters of the solution into each dish. Then we took a different pipette for each dish and took 3 to 5 milliliters of solution into test tubes to do our initial readings. To do the spectrometer readings, you need to turn it on, make sure that the wavelength was set to 560, put a blank tube with Bristol solution, make sure it's wiped down with a chem wipe to make sure there's no fingerprints or any residues on it. Set the transmittance to 100, take that out, and then put in the test tube, making sure that one is wiped off with one of your samples. And then repeat that step, making sure you do the Bristol solution one each time to make sure it does the correct reading. After we took our initial readings, we covered each dish with plastic wrap. The 3 that would receive light would get 10 small holes poked in them. Then the one that would receive no light was covered with additional aluminum foil over the plastic wrap. Then we poked 10 small holes in that one too to make sure that it lined up. Then we placed each dish in the appropriate light source, so the natural light went on the windowsill. The no light went in a cabinet that would remain shut. The 12 hours went on the correct table that would receive the light, and then the 24 hours went on that table. And then lastly, we took readings every day, repeating step 4, and we recorded our data.
So our data then, so you can see in our graph here that this blue line, it represents the 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So that one obviously did do the best. Then for the end result, the 24-hour light did do the second best, but if you look here at the beginning, for about the first week and a half, the natural light did do better, and then the natural light began to drop off here at about day 15. And finally, the no light was consistently at the bottom except for at the end when it did go above the natural light. And so after observing the Euglena growth for 21 days, we found that the Euglena in the 12 hours on, 12 hours off did do the best, followed by the 24-hour, then the no light, and then the natural light. And as in our discussion, we discussed that our hypothesis was not supported by this data because we hypothesized that the 24-hour light source would do the best, but the 12-hour did do better than the 24-hour. We also discussed something that may have gone wrong, and we think that our natural light, the windowsill it was sitting on, had a heater, and it was sitting on the heater, so we think that the heat may have caused the Euglena to die and perish in the warm water. So that's why it did end up finishing lower than the no light, because the no light didn't really change much at all. It went down a little bit and then went right back up and ended about the same where it started.
I'll show you our poster. There's our abstract and our introduction, then our reference, our methods, and there's actual pictures of our experiment on there. And then we have our graph. There's going to be one attached in the email. And then we have our results, followed by the discussion.